it's more than just, like a sport to me. Like it's a way of life that guides, everything I do. At its core, like jujitsu is a means of like neutralizing aggression or countering aggression, right? So you can take that from the mat into everyday life. As far as the Rolling Otters team, Antonio, I don't think people have seen a lot of. They saw Henry last time, and they may have seen Nick Ono before, but I would say just because they haven't seen Antonio before, he's a beast. My name is Jon Cho, and we'll be at Math East. So we got that later in the month, and then looks like next big one we're aiming to do is that what's that called? Golden.
What's up, Henry?
Golden Jiu-Jitsu Basically, trained traditional martial arts since I was a kid, and a little bit of boxing when I was a teenager. Really started my formal jiu-jitsu training when I was like 20, 21 years old, so like in 2008. And so that was about, 18 years ago. Started in the gi, then eventually made my way to 10th Planet and never looked back, right? So I've got I'd say about like 5 years, give or take, in the gi, and then the rest of the time's been strictly no gi. Yeah, well, I mean, along with jiu-jitsu, I studied philosophy in school, got my bachelor's and master's in philosophy, and I've always tried to kind of synthesize the two together, as a way of life, so it's more than just, like a sport to me, like it's a way of life that guides, everything I do. Right.
If you could, in a few sentences, what is your jiu-jitsu philosophy?
Ooh, that'd be tough to sum up in a couple sentences, but I would say that at its core, like jiu-jitsu is a means of like neutralizing aggression or countering aggression, right? So you can take that from the mat into everyday life.
Are there any examples of situations where you've used jiu-jitsu in everyday life? Could be physical or just mental.
Mental, I would say, when you get good at jiu-jitsu, you're using like kind of your rational mind to overcome your emotions, right? And so that's kind of guided me in every other aspect of my life too, whether it's, interpersonal relationships or other jobs I've had. I mean, this is all I do now, but, I've had a career in the past, and outside of this, and it's helped me a lot in that too. Just staying calm under pressure, and using your rational mind to overcome, kind of negative emotions, especially like things like anger and things like that. Yeah.
What's it been like the last few years you guys working together, coaching side by side? Tell me what it's like coaching these up and comers.
Oh, it's been awesome. We have a good dynamic, and like I said, we kind of fill each other's weaknesses and complement each other in that regard. Just not just in showing technique, but I would say overall like guidance and stuff. So I think the quintet formats, I think it's the most exciting one. We were talking a little bit before this. I think for like the uninitiated or the layperson, the quintet might be the most exciting one to watch. So yeah, definitely that quintet format's the way to go. When else are you going to see like a 135-pound guy, matched up with a, giant, possibly even take out a whole team, and plus if you're emotionally invested in the guys competing, it's especially exciting.
I know it's a hard question, but who out there on your team do you want to see succeed the most?
Oh, I can't. It's like picking it's like asking a parent to pick which kid they like the best, right? I don't know.
Who would you say might be like the underdog or the dark horse of your team?
Underdog or dark horse? I would say, as far as the Rolling Otters team, Antonio, I don't think people have seen a lot of. They saw Henry last time, and they may have seen Nick Ono before, but I would say just because they haven't seen Antonio before, he's a beast. Don't want to give away too much about his game, but yeah.
And who would you say is going to be like your main spear, who can really like get you across the board?
I would say, just based on his performance last time, Ryan Nielsen, the senator, right? He's a good tip of the spear.
Tell me about your guys' relationship. He seems to be quite an athlete and a really smart guy himself. How are your guys' interactions at class?
Great. I mean, yeah, we've always gotten along. Me and Mike John like giving him a hard time sometimes. But yeah, like you said, he's a really smart dude and really good athlete. So it's that perfect storm when you get those two things together.
Okay. And tell me about your what it means to you, what it would mean to you to see your students win the trophy.
Oh, it'd be awesome. I'm always excited when our guys go out there and kill it. And that trophy's sick. What is that? Like a saber tooth or something? Yeah, it's dope. I like that one.
Cool. And some people that you want to thank for your journey.
Just all my past coaches. Ron Turner, Casey Halstead. I'm especially indebted to. And my mentor Andy Ballmore. It's like on this journey you take a little bit from everybody. My name is Jon Cho, and we'll be at Math Beast.